Hey everybody, it's Kelly from Ready Set Drone. Thanks for tuning in today. Today I have the Syma X5UW, which was provided to us by GearBest for review. For anybody who's watched Ready Set Drone before, you know that I'm a huge fan of the Syma X5C, which is this guy here. This one has an app that comes with it. Has a 720 camera. It's got a barometer hold for altitude, and it's got some other features that that this one doesn't have. So this guy is the upgrade to the Syma X5C. It looks really cool. I like the styling. It's got this shiny, glossy finish, and the color's very cool. Now, one thing I was a little bit bummed about was that they changed out the batteries. It's still a 1S battery. It's still a 3.7 volt 1S battery, but they've now put it into this little compartment, so it's not going to be easy to swap out batteries between these two. This guy actually slides in and makes a connection inside the quad, in the back of the quad, like this, unlike the other one. Now, in some ways that's going to make it a little bit easier when you want to take the battery in and out, but again, if you have a bunch of X5C batteries laying around like I do, it just means that you can't use them in this quad. This quad does have a 720p camera, which takes a micro SD card, which it does not seem to come with one, so I'm gonna put one of my little 4 gig guys in there and give it a shot. It comes with a very cool looking remote control, which takes 4 AA batteries, and it does come with the usual stuff: spare props, the prop guards, which we won't be using, a screwdriver, a micro SD card reader for USB, and it also comes with this little clip that goes onto your remote control, and this clip allows you to hold your phone if you want to use the Wi-Fi for the Syma Go app, which is something I've already downloaded. I also really like the landing gear on this. I like the fact that it's 4 smaller ones. This guy here, if you put the landing gear on it, it goes in these little holes, and they tend to be a little bit big and bouncy. These feel a little bit more rigid, so they feel like they're going to be a little less bouncy when you take off and land. So first thing let's do is go ahead and put the micro SD card in here, mount the phone on the remote, and see if we can get the app to connect to it. Okay, so the way you bind it is the lights will blink quickly. When they slow down, you push the throttle stick up and then down, just like any other Syma quad. And it looks like I know that it does allow you to calibrate by pulling the 2 sticks down and to the right. And if you see when I do that, the lights actually blink on the quad, which tells me it's calibrating its level. So it's basically calibrating its accelerometers so that you know it's level. So now we've got the quad bound. We're not going to open the Syma Go app. We're going to go into Wi-Fi settings, and we're going to look for FPV Wi-Fi with 4 numbers after it. We're going to connect to that. Alright, it's connected to that now. Now we're going to open the app, hit the app, hit start. There we go. You see our live view of the camera on the Syma. It's actually not a bad picture. See what's going on around here. There's our camera, there's my producer, there's me. Haha. I'm going to go ahead and put this thing in the chip clip here. And I actually like this chip clip design. Some of the ones that are designed kind of squeeze down on it, which this does, but I like this chip clip because it feels like it's pretty solid in there, like it's not going to fall out, which is, there's a bummer when you drop your phone and it falls out. So now that we've got it in, let's go ahead and take it for a flight. So the way you arm it is you pull your throttle down and then push it up, and then that arms it. So you notice that it has altitude hold. So it's staying at the same altitude. Now the wind, there's a little bit of breeze. The wind is obviously blowing it a little bit. We're recording live video on it right now, which is cool. but I'm not touching the throttle at all, and it's maintaining its altitude pretty well, which is nice with that barometer hold. Bring it back over here. And right now I believe it is in the low rate. It's a little clunky in the low rate. And I have to say the Wi-Fi is not too bad for the FPV. It actually maintains it pretty well, keeps it pretty a pretty good signal on the screen. So now we're going to try switching it over to high rate, which is by pushing in this right stick. So when I push in the right stick once quickly, you get one beep. That means I'm in low flight mode, which is the easier mode. Push it in again, it beeps twice. That means I'm in high range flight mode. And then if I push it in and hold it, that puts it in headless mode. So now it's in headless mode. So it does have an auto takeoff and auto land mode, and it does have a flip. So I'm going to try, I'm not going to do the auto takeoff right now, but I am going to try the flip here. So there it goes. Not a bad flipper. Yeah, looks like you got to have a little bit of altitude for it to flip properly.
Wow, that's
All right, here we go. All right, one more flip. So I'm going to say this thing is actually a little bit harder to fly than the X5C. It is very laggy in low mode. It's pretty decent in high mode. So really, once you get it up in the air, you're going to want to fly it in high mode, I think, most of the time, especially if there's a little bit of breeze. Maybe indoors you could fly it in low mode, but I wouldn't recommend flying it in any sort of wind in low mode. The flips, you need some altitude because it tends to drop. I just have a feeling that might have to do with the weight with the camera on there, that when it's got the camera it's a little bit heavier. I want to try one more thing. I'm going to take the camera off and turn off the Wi-Fi and see if that makes a difference in how it flies. I had read online in a couple of places that the Wi-Fi tends to interfere a little bit with the transmitter. And it did feel, like I said, a little bit laggy, like I would do something and it would take it just a second to respond. So let me see if it does any better when you turn the Wi-Fi off. So we took the camera off the bottom. It's very easy to take on and off. There's one little plug that you plug into down here on the bottom, and then the camera just goes in and rotates in order to hold it in place. So we're going to try flying it without the camera and see how, and without the Wi-Fi, without using the app, and see how it does. So in that case, you really have to figure out which is the front and which is the back, because there isn't a whole lot of distinction between the two when you don't have the camera on. I'm pretty confident that the back is where the battery is, the battery compartment. So I'm going to set it like that. I'm going to go ahead and pull my stick down, my throttle, and then up. Now it's bound, and give it a shot. Yeah, I can tell you it flies a lot better without the camera and without the app running. I don't know if that's interference that the app is causing, but it definitely flies more smoothly when you don't have the app running. I'm gonna give it a shot with do a flip with yeah, and see it doesn't need as much room to flip, as much altitude to flip when it doesn't have the camera on. So now the lights are blinking. I'm assuming that means the battery's getting low. Bring it over to you. You see those lights blinking? So we're gonna bring it in and land it. Try to land it smoothly on the table this time without hitting cups or anything else. I will say one other thing about when you land it. It takes it a while for the props to spin down, so you got to hold the stick down for 2 or 3 seconds before the props actually stop. So in conclusion, the Syma X5UW is a pretty fun little flyer. I really like the design. Like I said, it's very similar to the Syma X5C, which I'm a big fan of. It does have a few more bells and whistles with the app that you can run and the FPV, the live FPV that you can get. It does have the barometer altitude hold, which actually works pretty well. The controller's pretty nice. Takes a little getting used to because it's a little different than the standard controller, but I do like the way that you can put your phone onto it and it feels like it's got a very solid connection. If you want a little starter FPV quad, this is probably a pretty good one to try out. It does transmit over Wi-Fi, not over 5.8 gigahertz, which gives you a little bit of lag in your FPV. So keep in mind that you're not going to have you're not necessarily going to have exactly real time. It's going to be half-second delay. So flying by FPV, you need a big open space to do it. But overall, definitely would check out the Syma X5UW for something interesting and unique to fly. If you are interested in getting one, please check out the link down below to a good price on GearBest. Thanks for watching Ready Set Drone, and we'll see you next time.